I recently got a letter from a gentleman who told me, I'm in love with my wife. I have two wonderful kids. I love my marriage and I love my wife, and he's attracted to somebody else who is totally inappropriate for him. It's inappropriate, A, because he's married and he's a husband and a father. When you become a husband and a father, gentlemen, you have voluntarily given up your right to be a polygamous male, meaning having multiple sexual partners. You gave up that right. Now, you did that voluntarily, I'm assuming, and it is a question of honor, not just for yourself, not for your honor, but the honor of the woman who had your children and the honor of the children who bear your name and who will bear your name and your habits and ways of being into the future with their husbands and wives and children. So you have a huge responsibility, gentlemen, when you choose to be a father, to pass on to your children a behavior and a standard of living, principles and morals, principles, and standards of living, of self-respect and respect for women and respect for children and respect for society, that basically says when you get married, you're saying, I'm giving that all up. So when that gorgeous, attractive, sexy, young thing comes floating into your universe to go, hey, I'm available, well, the only appropriate response, gentlemen, is not for me. Simply not for me. I've made my choice however many years ago it was, and as pleasant or unpleasant as it may be, I made my choice, and it's a question of honor. People have given up on honor. I do a workshop called Honor, Integrity, and Mastery for men. Why? Because that's where the rubber meets the road, gentlemen. All society, all the future of civilization, if you think about it, and I have, and I propose that you begin to think about it if you haven't, the future of civilized world hinges upon men's ability to give their word and keep their word, to say what they're going to do and to actually do it reliably, in other words, to honor themselves and to honor their lives and to honor their word that they've given. If men cannot do that, and women cannot influence them to want to live honorably, then the future of our civilization is predictable and almost certain. When honor breaks down, there's no shame. You see, honor and shame are like two sides of the same coin. No shame, no honor. No honor, no shame. When that boundary is gone, and there's no longer any difference, when we cross over from honorable to shameful without any distinction whatsoever, no marking in our own mind, in our own heart, in our own nervous system of, wait a minute, I've just crossed a line, and I've gone into something that is, I've left something that was positive, progressive, and creative, and I've entered into something that is destructive and undermining and disempowering. I've taken a road, I've gone off of the road that I chose for my life, my wife, my children, my future, my family, my culture, the reputation of my name and my family, and I've gone down a road now which has a certain outcome. It's almost certain that this road will lead to the destruction of my finances, my family's reputation, the love and trust and honor that I've engendered in my family, the undermining of my family's name and everything that I stand for. It's almost certain that it'll turn out that way. Now, maybe from your point of view, you don't see that, but I see it every day. We see hundreds and hundreds of people every year, and we watch people self-destruct because they don't have a proper boundary between what is honorable and what is despicable. And it's not that I pass a judgment. And I got to admit that using the word despicable sounds like it's my judgment. But I'll say it this way. If you consciously did something that you knew was going to be harmful and destructive to the people you love, what would you call it? Make up your own word. Okay? So, I'm addressing specifically the gentleman that wrote me that question. You've already made, you were asking me what's the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to do what you said you would do, which is to devote your love, your energy, your finances, your attention, and your sexuality to the woman who's bared your child, your children, and to build a future with her and with them that you can look back at the end of your life and say, that was great. I did a good job. I was an honorable man, and I contributed to society. That's your choice. You made that choice. Now, sometimes you have to make choices over and over again. Part of being a man means that you learn to not indulge in every emotional feeling that you have. Part of being a man means that you don't get to follow every feeling. What makes men be men is their ability to focus and stay true to themselves and to their task and to what they said they were going to do, in spite of the distractions, in spite of their emotional, physical, mental, and psychological state. If you indulge and get pulled around by everything that goes by, that looks good, that smells good, that feels good, then you will eventually turn into a feminine version of a man. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but the feminine, I mentioned earlier in the show that sometimes I'll use masculine, feminine, or male and female. The feminine energy must feel good in order to do good. She must feel good. When she feels good, then she naturally does good things. The masculine has to do good in order to feel good. If you want to feel good as a man, if you want to feel proud, if you want to feel honorable, if you want to feel strong, if you want to be recognized and provide something for society, then you have to do good in spite of how you feel. That's what it is to be a man. To be a man means to do what must be done in spite of how good you feel about it. To be a child means I only do what feels good to me. I do what feels good in spite of the cost to others, in spite of what I said I would do, in spite of the damage that I may cause or the cost. I'll just make myself feel good. That's going backwards as far as men are concerned. That is turning into the feminine aspect of man, which is another way of saying becoming a child again. Now, if you've been a man for many, many years and you've done what you said you were going to do, and and you've suffered over it, and internally you've had some conflicts, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have pleasure in your life. I'm not saying that you shouldn't find ways of expressing joy and pleasure and love in your life. However, it just can't go be with another gal if you've given your word to your family to be an honorable man. So those of you who write to me from time to time and ask me, what should I do? I'm tempted by this woman at work or by this relative or cousin. The answer is no. Okay? Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Don't write anything. Don't pay for anything that would ever need to be explained if everybody in the whole world found out about it. Nothing that you would have to explain or hide or cover up or disguise or try to do differently, okay? In other words, be honorable. I propose that you treat women, all women, honorably, even if they aren't being dishonorable, because women will be dishonorable with you. From time to time, if you're an honorable man, that's very attractive to women. If you're a man that keeps his word and you're a man that stands for something, you will find that you have a certain charisma that is very attractive to people, men and women. And from time to time, you will be approached by people who will propose something that's dishonorable to you, given your enormous charisma and attractiveness. That's not the time to drop that and go do something dishonorable. That's the time to practice what you've been practicing all along and say, thank you very much, I'm flattered, however, no thank you, and move on. It's okay to be attracted to women. It's okay to find women beautiful. It's okay to even feel love for them. However, you keep it to yourself. That's what a man of honor must do. Okay? So I hadn't thought about making this show be about this today, but I feel that it's necessary because I've had enough questions about this. And is there any easy way to do that? No, there's not. The easy way is to keep focused on who you said you would be, and the easy way is to have a purpose for your life that's bigger than your life, okay? Something that, now for some people that may be that want to leave a legacy of some sort, okay? Me, personally, I have several purposes in my life that if I were to leave this world without having fulfilled them, I'd be a little disappointed about that. Okay? So I have a purpose to my life, something that I've given my life to that I'm proposing to my life, and it doesn't have room for me to go off and do things that are dishonorable. It makes it easy for me because my choice was made long ago, and what I'm attracted by is something that's bigger than anything anybody could offer me that might be dishonorable. I don't know if this helps you, but I can tell you that it helps me to have a purpose for my life that is bigger than my own life. In other words, bigger than what I may hope to achieve in my entire lifetime. I propose that you find such a purpose like that, and one of the things that we do in the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshop is we work on helping you to define what is the purpose of your life. Why are you here? Are you just here to make money and, you know, do whatever it is that you're doing? Or is there a bigger purpose? What is your life here to serve that could be left as a legacy beyond your own personal lifetime? What is that? What could that possibly be? And we begin to examine that in the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshop, my workshop for men. And then in the Advanced Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshop, the workshop that follows that about 3 months later, then we actually begin to design your life around this purpose that you have such that you leave there well on your way to living this purposeful life, and then the distinctions of honor and integrity naturally, it sounds funny to say it this way, fall out of who you've become. In other words, they're the natural result or outcome of who you've become as a man of honor and integrity. So it's not something that you're trying to get to, but it's something that you're being in your life from day to day. Now, does that mean you never have any problems? Does it mean you don't have challenges? Does it mean that you don't have questions in your life that you don't know the answer to? Of course not. Of course you're going to have questions and challenges throughout your lifetime. And I can tell you this, that the bigger your purpose is in life, the bigger the challenges will be. But the bigger person you will be in response to them. You will learn. It's just like any muscle. If I ask you to do 10 push-ups right now, some of you couldn't do 3. Some of you could do 50, all right? If I ask you to do 10 push-ups, you might not be able to do 10 push-ups today. But however many push-ups you could do, if you did them today and again tomorrow and again the next day, you would be stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So like anything, honor and integrity is a practice. It's not something that just you come with, okay? It's actually recognizably in your nervous system. It's part of your subconscious mind. It's part of your neurological makeup, is to seek wholeness and completion, and the quickest, easiest path to wholeness and completion is through honor and integrity. I think that's worth saying again. There's no shortcut. There's no way around it. The quickest and easiest way to have a fulfilled, happy, joyous, prosperous, healthy life is through honor and integrity. Everything else is going to cost you. It's going to take longer. It's going to cost more. It's going to wear you out. It's going to make you age. It's going to get your body toxified. It's going to be toxic to your relationships and to the world. Anything other than what has honor and what has integrity will eventually wear you down. That doesn't mean that there's not a lot of room for fun and joy and full self-expression. In fact, there's even more fun, more joy, and more full self-expression inside of the discipline of honor and integrity. I'll give you an example. Years ago, when I was a teenager, I danced and danced and danced and danced. I loved to dance, and everybody said, wow, you're really a great dancer. Great. Whatever, right? I just like to dance, and I danced whenever we went to rock concerts and so forth. I grew up in the hippie era, so we danced a lot, right? At some point in my life, I got very enthusiastic about a dance troupe that I saw, and I went to a school in New York, and it was extremely difficult. It was the most challenging, physically, mentally, emotionally challenging thing that I'd ever done in my life, and it required the ultimate discipline. Physically, I had to have a certain kind of diet. I had to do a lot of things in order to be able to even participate in the classrooms. It was physically painful and challenging, and it challenged me mentally quite a bit. However, by staying with that discipline, I became a professional world-class dancer in a very short period of time. Like within 2.5, 3 years, I was traveling around the world with dancers that had been dancing 20 years. On a stage, I even danced on a stage with Nureyev at some point in my life. I was part of a dance troupe that did a supporting role for Rudolf Nureyev in New York City and opened on Broadway. So by age 27, I had opened a school in Paris where I was teaching dance and theater and martial arts. What's my point? It's not about giving you my resume. My point is that by going through a discipline of doing what I said I was going to do, I gained even more freedom than I could have ever possibly imagined. More freedom, not just in my career, but in my full self-expression, in my expression as a human being. Much of what I'm doing today is based upon the freedom that my mind got, that my neurological system got, that my ability to regenerate myself when I'm tired, or to recreate myself as new and young and healthy and alive, started there. So that was 40 years ago. Okay, that was a very long time ago. Some of you haven't even been alive that long. That was a really long time ago, 35 whatever years ago. And today I'm still experiencing the freedom from having lived a disciplined life. Okay, for a 2 or 3 year period of my life, that gave me a structure that I'm going to call honorable and integrous with my body and my central nervous system, that it continues to expand and to benefit others to this day. So what I'm proposing to you is living a life of honor because you said so, not because somebody's idea of what's honorable is imposed upon you from the outside, but because from the inside you chose it. From the inside you chose to live your life with integrity. From the inside you chose to live your life with honor, and you begin to